Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the SheEO Lead-In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of SheEO Lead-In. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights, despite their sometimes rocky paths and found a way to lead in. Today we are with the CEO and co-founder, Theresa Miller of 365 Connect. How are you today, Teresa?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks so much for having me.
Great. Well, I'm excited to hear all about your story, how you got to where you are. But let's just start out by breaking the ice just a little bit.
Okay.
Do you have a fun little short story that you'd like to share with our listeners today to kind of introduce them to you as a person rather than just this high-powered woman?
Oh, wow. I'll give you a really short story. I was a runner my whole life. And I had a running partner, and we did a lot of races together. And then I got bored, and I said, you know what, I'm quitting. I don't want to do this anymore. And she found a race, and she goes, I really want to do this with you. And I said, well, what is it? She said, well, it's a Spartan race. And I said, well, what is that? And she goes, well, you run obstacle courses. And I said, okay, I'll try it. Well, we trained. We used to climb trees to train. We used to climb earth movers on construction sites to train. And it was so much fun that after our very first one, we were so addicted and we turned to each other. We were rolling on the floor, laughing in dirt, saying, oh my gosh, when is our next one? So I love Spartan races.
That's
so much fun.
crazy.
Obstacle course racing. It's part of who I am, and I love it.
Do you like heights or no?
Don't look down.
So
that's what I tell people. Don't look down. They're really fun. Really fun.
So seriously, when you were telling this story, all I could think about when you talk about a construction site is, the big cranes and how tall they are. And I'm just picturing you climbing a crane, and oh my gosh, I'm terrified of heights. But I force myself to do things that I don't feel comfortable with. I always tell kids when I'm speaking to them, I say, try things that are outside of your comfort zone. Not physically
100%.
dangerous, but one time I actually climbed up a fire ladder, believe it or not.
I love it.
And it's 100 feet, and the whole time I was sweating profusely. I was terrified. I was thinking, why did they let me go up this? I could literally fall to my death, and there are, hundreds of people down below. And then I thought, you know what? As I was coming back down, and coming down, I think is much easier than going up. Mm-hmm. But because, and they gave me a hook, which the hook was hilarious because they were like, if you get scared, just hook on. But then again, you have to hold on to the hook with two hands. And I thought, that's never happening. That means I've let it go. But anyway, it really, I think some of those things, trying things that are physically a little scary, but not where you're probably going to fall to your death, but that you can easily do if you just keep pushing and pushing. Those things really help you grow as a person and allow you to make calculated risk decisions.
100%.
I think in career and jobs. So
absolutely agree.
Yeah, I love that. So anyway, I want to know, do you have one word that you just say, you know what, that word, that fits me? Do you have one word?
Me?
Yes.
Or my company? Just me?
You. What do you feel about yourself, or what do people often say about you?
I think one of the words is resilient. And I think being a woman in business, just to transfer it over, being a woman in business, you really have to be resilient. There's people out there that are rooting for you. There are people out there that are not rooting for you. You have to be able to deal with all different kinds of people.
Yeah.
So I think my type A behavior and my resiliency is a combination that really that people talk a lot about.
So I have a question just about the your type A personality that you brought up. Do you think you were always type A, or is that something you grew into because of circumstances that you've gone through?
It's a really good question. I think it's a little bit of both. I grew up in an Italian family back in New York. I was the baby of five kids.
Okay.
And I had an older sister and then three brothers in the middle. And the only way that I can compete and get my dad's attention was to do crazy things. Or say crazy things. So I had to keep up with the rest of my family, and I wanted to be noticed.
So were you the clown then, or
a little bit? I was a little bit of a clown. Yeah, I was a little bit of a clown. But I was an athlete, and that really got my father's attention. You know, my mom was the stay-at-home mom who preached about taking care of each other, taking care of family, and motivating me that way. But I really did that because of my dad.
So you were the baby.
I was the baby.
Are you? Are they boys, girls, or do you have like a?
So my sister's the oldest.
Okay.
And there were three boys, and then I came along. So really, I was the tomboy of the group.
You're the bookmark.
I'm the bookmark.
You're the bookmark. I'm sorry. Actually, the bookend.
It's really fun.
The bookend.
It's really fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so all those boys with all that athletic ability, and then there you are, and you're like, hey, I'm here, and I'm going to make my own mark.
Right. And I can do whatever you do, and that's really what happened. And they pushed me to do that.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
had me on a motorcycle when I was 5.5 years old.
Wow.
They had me throwing the football with them. They had me playing every sport in the book with them, and it was really fun. I loved it.
So the sports may have made you more resilient, more competitive. I think maybe more competitive, which, a type A personality, I think there is a certain amount of that's really a competitive thing.
Yep.
Like I tell people all the time, I'm not competitive. As long as I'm winning.
Yeah.
No, but I think, and I think as things happen in our lives too, those push you to kind of, get outside of the comfort zone or what you might see as a comfort zone.
Yeah. And it's like starting a race when you talk about competition.
Yeah.
There are races that I'll sign up for and I'll say, I'm going to do this for fun. I really just want to go out. I want to be with this community. I want to have so much fun and run this race. And the second I get to the starting line and I look around me, I realize, this isn't going to be fun for me. I have to compete. And then you run faster and you try to get past people, and that's kind of how it starts. And I think that goes for business as well. Wanted to do something great for the community, and now I'm so entrenched in what I'm doing that I want more.
I love that. Well, so how long have you been in your current career? And, why don't you start out by kind of telling us what one day looks like for you, and what exactly are you doing during the day?
Well, it's really interesting because we have one of our biggest clients is on the East Coast.
Okay.
So our day starts pretty early because of the time change. So we'll have meetings at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. But my typical day, I wake up, and I have my coffee, and then I read a little bit of the news, and I go straight to the gym. And then once I come home, I feel like I've conquered that one thing for me, the one thing I did for me that day. And it really sets the precedent for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I love getting to the gym in the morning, but I have to tell you, most of the time I'm quite tired because I work late. But the coffee part, I could totally get on board.
Well, it's definitely a habit. I mean, you have to really,
for sure.
You have to really motivate yourself and get into the habit of getting up and doing the same routine. For me, the same routine works.
Yeah.
So I come home from the gym, take a shower. I'm at my desk probably by 9 a.m. Now, some people might think that's late, but when you own your own business, there's no hours.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I can work from 9 to 12 and take a break, or I can work from 9 to 9 and never take a break. Yeah. So it really all depends. But we have clients that we talk to. We have nonprofit partners that we speak to during the day. I'm a connector, so I love speaking to people. I go to meetings representing my company, telling people who we are and what we do, and really just trying to be part of the community.
Yeah, that's good. So what do you think as far as measuring success and then also failure? And do you have I think the two kind of go hand in hand because
Absolutely.
you can't really have success without failure. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you have a story to share with us?
Exactly what you just said. You can't have success without failure.
Yeah.
And as I said before, over the course of every day, there's people that love you and want to work with you and love your vision. And there are people that want to tear you down.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
I never imagined or never realized how prominent it was until I became a CEO of my own company. And it's amazing what people will try to do to you. Take an idea or say things that are not true. But I feel that when you move forward and you move past that, you understand that it's not about you.
Right.
It's about them.
Right.
It's about their fear of either you or what you and your company are doing. And you really can't take that to heart. You have to really move forward in order to be successful. So those little mini failures every day, I guess you can call them mini failures, where there's a setback. I feel like every day my business partner and I sit down and say, okay, well, this happened. How do we move forward?
Right.
How do we move forward with this in a positive light? Let's push that aside. And what is in the best interest of our company and the clients that we serve?
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's really tough.
So do you think that you have more opposition from men or women? Because I often talk about the Mean Girls thing.
Oh yeah.
It's real.
It is real.
It is. And I don't understand it because for me, I mean, I just tend to be very positive. Although, if someone I feel is trying to sabotage me,
right,
I'm nice to a point, but it's then you better get out of my way because I'm here. I'm serious. I want to do business. I don't want you to get in my way. I need you to get out of my way now. So
yeah. Well, I think with the women, I'm a big advocate of, there's an old saying, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, but be the woman who fixes another woman's crown without them knowing it.
Right.
And I've always been that advocate. I've been the innocent until proven guilty, whether it's for the men or the women in business.
Yeah.
But I'm exactly like you, what you just said. If it's that line is crossed, then I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight for my business partner and I'm going to fight for our company. And it's happened. It's happened. I'm very nice. I love what I do. And I will always give you the benefit of the doubt, whether you're a man or a woman.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you think has been one of your most significant barriers in your career?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. It depends because there's a couple of different things. I think one of the barriers was my own self-confidence. I think that was a really big thing. If you're talking about me personally, definitely my own self-confidence, being able to go outside your comfort zone and take a risk. There were so many people telling me, you need to do this. This is what you're good at, and you need to jump pretty much. And I think that was a really big barrier for me. What if I fail? What if I fail? I'm in a community of professional, competitive people, from the parents to the grandparents all the way down to the kids. And that was scary for me.
Yeah.
So if it's applying just for me, it's definitely the self-confidence.
So do you get resistance, do you think, more from men, or just, do you feel that in your career? Do you feel like that's a big issue or not too significant?
Yes. It also depends on the industry and the causes that
probably the men. I don't like to generalize. I don't feel like everyone is the same.
I don't like to generalize either because I have some men that I completely admire and put on a pedestal. They have been my mentors.
Yeah.
They have respected me from day one and accepted me for who I am, and they've really helped me grow.
Yeah.
There are other men that just, don't pay you any mind.
Yeah. So
and you have to prove yourself. And I think that's what I've found is once I prove myself, then then the respect comes from them.
Yeah, yeah. So you talked a little bit about role models. Do you have many that you can just say, yeah, that person really helped shape me and it was pretty significant?
Well, I do have a few business mentors that if it's recent, then I can say the business mentors have really helped me. They've been in the industry for a long time, very motivating, a lot of great advice. If you're talking about who my life mentors are, this is going to sound crazy, but Mother Teresa has always been the person that I've looked at. Like I said, I grew up in an Italian family, an Italian Catholic family, and my mom always read me stories, told me about Mother Teresa, about all the work that she did. So as I got older, I would read a lot about what she did as well. So I really looked up to her growing up. So lots of different
Well, I wouldn't say that's crazy. I mean, we all have things that shape us. And, what about tough times? I mean, do you have any significant things where you could share with us where you say, yeah, this was an obstacle, but then I turned it around and it ended up actually being something that
100%.
Really
and I'm sure a lot of people have talked about this, but the pandemic.
Oh, gosh.
So we launched our company March 1.
No.
March 13th, the world shut down.
Yeah. Oh,
we
wow.
were so excited. We had so much momentum. We had worked so hard on our vision and what we were going to do. And our website launched, and March 13th, the world shut.
Wow.
So we looked at each other and said, okay, this is a huge obstacle. What do we do?
Overused, but the word pivot comes to mind.
Pivot. Well, I was going to say I was going to try to avoid that word because everybody uses it. But
Overused,
but
yeah.
Yes, we really did have to sit down and say, okay, what is the next year? Well, we didn't even know it was going to be a year or a year and a half.
No kidding.
What is it
2
going?
weeks.
What is it going to look
Yeah,
like for
right.
us? So after that 2 weeks, we did pivot. And we started to reach out to some prior clients that we had, nonprofit organizations that we worked with, really just to keep on top of them about, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what we hope to do, this is our vision for the company. Hopefully, when the world opens up again, you'll consider us. And we waited. But we did some marketing in the background and did as much as we possibly could on the other end.
And took a deep breath.
Yeah. I also took another job in that time period because my husband had lost his as well during the pandemic. So you can imagine the two of us.
Yeah.
And so I took a job for 2 years until things really came around. And then we got that first call. And life just changed.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and a lot. I think we all learned a lot during the pandemic. Not even just about, what can happen when you shut down the world like that, but really, I think about ourselves too. Because are you resilient, and you have that will to just do whatever it takes to get to the next level, or were you going to live in fear? And right. I think there are a lot of people that did one or the other, and then I think a lot of people did more of both.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of wisdom and knowledge that came from all of it, but also just, the realization that, what, we have zero influence over something.
It's true.
I think that is probably one of the things that I learned the most. When my ex-husband and I had started a furniture marketing company, and I remember there were moments early on. Our son was 1, so we only had one child then. So I have a 27-year-old son and a 23-year-old daughter. And when I look back and I see all the things that we went through, I remember thinking, I'm never ever going to be able to look at things the same way just because there was so much change from starting your own business, not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring, and getting to a point where, okay, we've got to fund this company. We had to pull a lot of money out of our house.
Oh yeah.
And I remember the moments where I was thinking, okay, well, we could lose our house if this doesn't go well. And it was like, in my mind, I was thinking, failure's not an option.
Yeah.
It just can't happen.
Yeah.
And so, I think, tough times really bring that out. And, it seems to me that's what you're kind of talking about.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. You're spot on. They were definitely tough times, and we really had to go to a plan B.
Yeah.
For a while. And like I said, once the world opened up again and we got that first phone call, we realized, hey, we did it. Now it's all up to us to really take this company forward and keep the vision that we have for it,
right,
and move in that direction.
So let's talk a little bit about balance in life, because I think that was the other thing that the pandemic, I mean, it sounds like you work from home most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. And so, making that distinct, or do you not have distinct? Because I think sometimes they blend. I think it's like it's very fluid. Sometimes it's very, okay, work here, home here, and then, sometimes they blend, sometimes they're very separate. And I think it's just a thing. But how does it work in your life?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I think when you work from home, especially, I'm at the point now where my 2 older sons are out of the house. So, at the time I had 3 kids in the house, and now that my 2 older ones are gone, it makes it a little bit easier to be home.
Yeah.
And to focus a little bit more when I'm home. But it's definitely challenging. I have a very dear friend who just wrote a book, and we have conversations about this all the time, about it's not work-life balance.
Yeah.
It's life-work balance.
Yeah.
And for the first 3 years, all we did was work. All we did was work. And now we finally changed our mindset a little bit to we really need to find that life-work balance. And I am so grateful to have finally found that, because I feel like I work, and I work really, really hard, but now I have trained myself in order to be a better leader, a better listener, I put my phone away, and I need that time to recharge.
But Teresa, don't you think that in the beginning, when you first start a company, you have to have that working harder.
You have to.
And then, but there does have to be a point where you go, okay, now I need to take a deep breath. Now I've got to make a change, because it's unsustainable.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And we're at the 3.5-year mark right now.
Yeah.
So it's either go big or go home.
Yeah.
So we're really ramping up again, and it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You find that balance for a while, and then something comes up, and look, when you have to work hard, you have to get down and dirty and work harder and to succeed, and that's what we do.
Yeah. So how young is your youngest now?
My youngest is 17. I have a 24-year-old, a 22-year-old, and they're both here in San Diego. Yeah. And my daughter, Lizzie, is 17, and she's a high school senior. So working through that as well.
Yes. Oh goodness. And that is a tough one. I think mom, I have a daughter as well. My youngest is my daughter. And, there were moments where I thought, I'm failing as a parent. I am failing as a mom. I'm not doing the right things. But then there are moments that I went, oh gosh, I really hit that well. I really did a good job.
And you're right. And I think she has really taught me, my boys were so close in age, and then they were gone. So there's about 5 years difference. Now that she's a senior in high school, and we have an amazing relationship. We adore each other. It was rocky for a while, but she really made me realize that my family has to be a priority. Absolutely. And that's really when I stopped, is when I had a friend say to me, I love you and I love what you're doing, but don't forget her. And now that really helped me create my life-work balance. So when I have a college counselor meeting, I'm off the clock. When I have a soccer game, I'm off the clock. And it just makes me balance. It makes me feel so much better.
So Teresa, were there moments, because I know there were moments for me, where I went, damn, I'm doing a bad job being a mom? Because, again, our daughters, they need a lot when they need it. And I think there is a portion of them, or, you know, they get to a point at some point in time where they need to have their independent self that is outside
Yes.
of their mom,
Yep.
Their own identity and all of that. And I think boys are that way to
Yep.
an extent, of course, also. But I think with our daughters, there's that really tough point where you're going, oh my gosh, we're really not getting along right now. I tell every mom that shares this with me, I always say, be encouraged. You're going to get past that, but you've got to take a deep breath and not take it personally, because it happens to all of us.
100%. And part of working through all that with my daughter is having an amazing group of women that I'm surrounded by, friends that I've known since my daughter was in kindergarten. I'm going to cry because it's really, I don't think, this is going to sound horrible, I'm sorry, but I don't think the men really understand, you know, that maternal instinct of this person came out of my body. I'm responsible for this person. Every emotion that you have is put into your children. I can't tell you how many nights I have stayed up. Exactly what you said. Did I say the wrong thing to her? Did I do the wrong thing? Oh my gosh, did I fail her? I didn't go to this soccer game, or I didn't say this right thing. But when you're surrounded by a community of women and families that are going through the same thing,
Yeah.
you know, I'm the type of person that I don't like to share everything with everybody.
Yeah.
But when it came to something like this, it broke me. There's a few times that it does break me.
Yeah.
And I am very, very lucky to have those women around me that say, hey, I just went through it, or I'm going through it now, and you feel that too, and you do get through it.
Yeah.
And you have those people who have your back all the time. And I think that changes your mindset.
It's your tribe, your village.
It's your tribe. It's true.
I call my very close group of women my village.
Tribe. Yeah.
And we are so close. And yes, we've all gone through a lot of the same things. Our kids are, you know, close in age, but I think there's also a lot of wisdom in watching other families where you go, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But then also, you know, when I always make a point to share with other women that have younger daughters, hey, I've been there. I've had some really tough times with my girl. And, you know, I think really that mom and daughter dynamic is really different. And you're right. I don't think that men 100% understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think too, with your children and my daughter, when you start to see that maturity happen, and they start to turn the corner as well, your relationship with them just completely changes. I mean, my daughter now comes and hugs me and kisses me. Hey, Mom, let's cook tonight. Let's do something fun tonight. And you know, where maybe 6 months ago she didn't want to do that.
Right.
So it's a maturity thing on their part as well, and it's a waiting game for us as mothers to see them grow and hope and pray that they get to that point, and you say, okay, I really did do a good job.
It's ever evolving. But you know what? I actually just had a conversation this last week with a man, and he's probably about 28. He had his first child 2 years ago, and he said to me, you know what, Rebecca, I never saw the sacrifices that my mom made, and I never appreciated my mom until I became a parent.
Yep.
And so that kind of is, you know, another part of it is that, you know, I think a lot of times when we become parents or we're out doing, you know, having our own career, we actually look back to our parent and say, yeah, they did teach me a lot. Maybe I didn't see it at the time.
Yep.
And it could be, you know, also they did things that you didn't like, but that still is a learning experience.
Absolutely.
And still a lesson. So talking about lessons, why don't you share with us some lessons that you've learned, or it could be one or two, it doesn't matter, that you could encourage young women to learn and apply to their lives?
Well, it's exactly what we talked about. One of them is really having a tribe that has your back.
Yeah.
And really understanding that there are going to be people on your side, and there are going to be people that are not on your side. But when you have that tribe who loves you and trusts you and believes in you for really who you are, then that's really important.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things that I've learned is also to really be true to yourself and be your authentic self.
Yeah.
And I tell my daughter that every day. Look, you're not going to be this student. You're not going to, everyone is so competitive these days. And just be yourself. Be who you are, be true to yourself, and stick up for yourself too, for the things that you believe in. But really being your authentic self is one of the biggest things. And really the other thing is taking that risk and being able to jump.
You brought up a really good point. So the authentic self isn't always about, when you're talking about competitive and all of that.
Right.
It's not necessarily all about the money. A lot of it has to do with, are you doing good things? Are you doing good by people? Are you making them? I spend a lot of time and effort encouraging people.
Yep.
I think my superpower is definitely encouraging.
Yes.
I think it's important that we always bring up other people around us, not just for our success, but to see their success and to watch them and grow into who they are. I recently, I have this employee at my job, and I remember the first time I met her, I was thinking, gosh, there's really something fantastic about her. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And I kept thinking, boy, she is really, and she's young. She's pretty young. Like, I would say she's probably right around 30. I mean, I've never asked her how old she is, but I see such a heart for others and encouraging and positive, which, man, we cannot get enough positivity in this world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we definitely learned that, I think, from the pandemic. Anyway, and now I'm watching her grow, and she just got a promotion, and I'm just thinking, I look at her and I think, wow, look at her go. I mean, you just wind her up and look at her go, and she is achieving things that I bet you she's even surprised about.
Yeah.
I think really encouraging other people is something that, I can look back and say, I really love that I do that, because now I get to see other people and really build a community of this job. So do you have instances like that within your organization? I would assume you probably do.
Building others up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Every time, because of the industry that we're in corporate volunteerism.
Yeah.
Every day we are meeting new nonprofit organizations who have amazing stories.
Yeah.
Who really need support and assistance, and to build awareness in the community. So for us to be able to connect those type of people with corporations who have the means to help them build them up through these volunteer events and projects that we do. It's such an amazing feeling when we bring these two entities together and they have one-on-one conversations, and they learn about each other and the struggles that some of these people have within these nonprofits, the people that we serve, whether it's homeless or veterans in need or so on and so forth. I find that we have to make that connection in order for people to understand the other side. Yeah. And to help them build other people up as well. So once they have that experience, they want to help, and they want to mentor, and they want to be part of a bigger solution to building each other up.
So what are you most passionate about, do you think, in your career? What is the one thing you just go, gosh, I can't wait to get up and do that. Can't wait to get to work to do that.
Exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do. We work with, I love to convince companies that about the value of giving back, about the value of corporate volunteerism, about the value of looking outside self. Yeah. And giving to others. There are companies that do that really well. There are companies that have no idea how to do that. Yeah. But when we do an event and it comes off as a success, and we see a home renovation for a veteran, or we do a school makeover, and we create these safe spaces for kids, that's where my passion lies. Is every day we do something good for others.
You
And
know,
it's amazing.
You
I love it.
triggered a thought in my mind. I was recently at an event, and it was an affordable housing development grand opening, and there was this young woman, and she said, my life has been changed so much by this whole group of people that have worked so hard.
Yep.
And one of the organizations was a nonprofit, and she said to me, I just don't know how I will ever be able to pay back what they've done for me. And I said, okay,
There you go.
I've got an answer for you. And that is that I said, don't stress over it today. And I go, but you'll come to a point in your life where you will see that you can do the same and pay it back.
Yep.
You can pay it back by doing the same thing that was done for you. And you can be the one who makes a difference in someone's life. And I said, I kid you not. You know how good it feels right now that someone did that for you? When you are doing it for someone else, it's going to feel 10 times more.
Yeah.
Like more impactful in your life.
Yep.
And it will change your life to get back.
So really quick story. My eldest son. So my kids were involved in community service at the age of 5.
Wow.
It was not an option for my children. It was an obligation. I was part of a lot of different organizations. We were doing 2 and 3 events a month with my kids. And just when you think, am I pushing them too much? What are they going to do when I'm not in the picture anymore? And are they going to be those kind people that I've wanted them to grow up to be?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when my son was in college and he called me and said, Mom, I organized my first home build in Mexico, all because of you. Because I used to take my kids to Mexico to build homes. And he went ahead and he organized this with his fraternity, and he showed me the video and I cried. And that's the day I said, wow, this was not for nothing. Like they listened. They learned everything along the way from age 5. Even if sometimes I had them kicking and screaming because they didn't want to go. Once they got there and they saw the difference that they made in somebody's life, whether it was sitting with a 5-year-old to read a book, or building a home, or painting a mural, or whatever it was that they did, you just hope and pray that your kids will take on some of those values and have that integrity and those morals as they grow. So for me, that moment when my son did that, I was like, yes, it actually stuck. It actually happened.
Make no mistake of it. And I tell people this all the time. They go, I don't know if what I do is ever going to be seen. Make no mistake of it. One person makes a huge difference.
It's true.
One person at a time.
And you know what? I will tell you, I'm very lucky because I get to see it every day.
Aww.
Every day when I work with a company and nonprofits and we do events like this and projects, they change a lot of lives.
Yeah.
So every day at the end of the day, I say, did we do something good today? And the answer is yes. It's just the most amazing feeling.
You're living the dream.
I am.
Yeah.
I really am.
That's awesome. What's next for you?
Well, really building our company, taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
For me personally, I am always open to growing and learning, and being around powerful women, other women that inspire me is something that's really, really important for me. Yeah. It's interesting because tonight I'm actually getting together with a group of women who we just randomly had seen each other at a bunch of different events. And one of the women said, why don't we have our own group? We have so much knowledge and we have so much passion. Let's do something with this. So meeting with them tonight. So it's really
awesome.
Interesting that's happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think definitely, having that tribe, even having the business tribe or, the career type tribe, having, a group that can, build up one another and then also share experiences because
absolutely.
I think I mentioned a little bit earlier, you can learn as much from failure as you actually can from good positive
100%.
things.
And really for me, I feel like I'm always growing and I'm always open to people telling me what I need to improve, what I need to do. I never want to stop learning. I'm very excited that I'll be involved in a few leadership programs next year. And I can't wait because I want to learn more. I want to absorb more from other people who have started their companies and have been doing this for 20, 25 years. And I also am inspired by people who are exactly where I am.
Yeah.
And to talk to them about what works, what doesn't work. And I don't think I'll ever stop learning.
I think I'm glad you brought that up too, because I think learning is from people that are more experienced, but also younger people have a lot of different ways to share, ways for us to learn to become a better version of ourselves.
Yeah. 100%.
Thank you so much for the conversation today. It was wonderful. Great to get to know you a little bit better.
Yes,
and
thank you for having me.
Of course, I wish you all the best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learn how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with SheEO host Rebecca Jones.